Hello and welcome back to Colorless Oranges, where I share my experiences to help better yours. I am your host, Sydney Hyatt, and today we're talking empathy is a lack of boundary. That might hurt some people. That might make people very upset with me, especially the people who are similar to me and are like, girl, you're actually the one who taught me what the word empathy was, and I associate myself with that. I do associate myself with the word empathy. If you're unfamiliar with the word empathy, it means to have the ability to understand and share the feelings of others. So basically, you're like a fishnet of everybody else's feelings. You can feel exactly what is going on in the room. You understand every shift in emotion just by the tone of voice of somebody, how something shifts, how something changes. You are grasping every single emotion around you. And this could be 24/7, but I think that the people who have surpassed this can feel it but know when to act on it or to just let it be and keep moving. We have talked about boundaries on this channel. I did explain it in a way of boundaries being set for us to not burn out, but I didn't go in as deep as today we're going to dive really deep into what a boundary is. I was recently watching Kiki Palmer's interview that she did with this doctor. I can't remember his name. I'll put it here on the screen if you can't see, but he explained it in a way that no therapist, no person that I've ever come in contact has ever done. When I tell you that my mind was blown when he came into and went deep into what a boundary is, I was just like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. So basically, a boundary is just maintaining self-respect, protecting your own well-being, and not tolerating certain things. And that's kind of the idea that we've all had on boundaries, I feel. I actually recently learned what a boundary was, like a couple years ago. As we get in a little bit deeper, we'll understand exactly where his mindset was when he was talking about this and why he said what he said and where it comes from. But empathy hurts a lot of us that are empathetic. And I feel that we have used empathy to basically bash certain people, like, oh, you're too sensitive. Or even have other people trauma dump on us. If you're not aware what the word trauma dump is, it's basically, oh wow, that sounds much better. I hope you guys can hear the difference, but we were getting everybody's noises in this house. And I hope you guys like the background as well. I've been trying to figure out my perfect spot, and I think I found it. I really like the way that this looks. But anyways, trauma dumping. I feel like I've heard this a lot from two people in my life, and those two people are people that I feel like haven't aged. You know, they might be 25, but mentally they're 15. And actually, I heard something funny the other day. My mom was saying, she is 21 with 30 years of experience. So I think that's really funny because it just shows like the level of mentality that some of us have is not quite the same. And common sense is not so common. And we do get that. But I mean, I finally have understood that common sense isn't common. It's not like we're all learning the same things in school. We're not learning the things that we need to learn. We're not having the experiences that we all have. And trauma dumping is a term that a lot of people like to use in the wrong context, but it's usually when your friend is constantly calling you to tell you about her problems with her man. This constant, like it's a consistent type of letting out your pain every single time with this one person. And it's sort of like a therapist relationship that you have with a friend, because we all are supposed to trauma dump with therapists, but like our friends are not really meant for that. And these two people constantly would use that term with me. Not that I was doing it to them, but that they were experiencing that a lot with their other friends. And I realized those people were doing that to me. They would tell me all their problems, and me being so empathetic, I'm like, I need to fix this. I'm going to fix your problems. And that's what I'm known as. And that's what I even been talking about this entire time on my podcast, how I find it to be so important to help one another. We need to be there for each other. I've been put on this planet, I felt, to help others. And a lot of the times it has been to my own detriment. It's been to my own like death. I have fallen sometimes helping other people. I have done a lot of things for other people that I hadn't done for myself. And that's when I started creating boundaries and stuff. But the way that we think about boundaries is just like these invisible lines and making consequences for other people's actions. When in all actuality, boundaries are just for us, for me. The boundary that I put, that I said, I'm not going out with you this Saturday, that's a boundary. Being able to say no without guilt. I have come a very long way, because for a long time I could not sit there and tell somebody no. Especially if you were in my life, I felt like that is my duty to you. That is what I owe you. So I'm not going to tell you no. But it came to a point where I wasn't getting anywhere for myself. And I was just allowing everybody else, fixing everybody else's problem as some kind of guru or something. And I kind of wanted to learn how to monetize that. But I realized becoming a therapist, you can only help so many people. Only so many people have your type of insurance that you can accept. And it's extremely difficult to get into these insurance companies, because believe it or not, insurance doesn't actually want to pay. Insurance is actually just put there like as a facade, basically. Like they don't want to pay for half of the thing. So I'm not going to put myself in a industry where I'm not going to be able to help as many people as I want. I want to help a lot. So that's why I've chosen YouTube as a platform to help others, because it's, I feel, the easiest way to get to a lot of people. And although, it's a slow climb, I'm not trying to run. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I will get there. I'm very aware of that. But creating this boundary for myself is where the doctor in Kiki Palmer's video was trying to get to, where we've used boundaries as this like shield. And boundaries are actually meant for us and our emotions. We have individual lines, right, that go across America. This says that this state is New York, that state is New Jersey, and all of this stuff. And those are imaginary lines because they're not even real. It's sort of the same thing with us, but this is more for our emotions. And some things that I was suffering when I'm trying to release the title of empathetic, because it's made a lot of people believe that I'm soft or I'm sensitive, and I might be sensitive and I might have characteristics of being soft, but I don't think I am. And I think that using this title to describe myself without the other person understanding how deep this is, it can go really left. So I no longer want to be called empathetic. I feel like after understanding this concept and getting to where I got to these last couple of days, I've just been like, oh my God. Empathy will make you go to great lengths for other people if you don't have boundaries. And what that makes you do is forcing other people's pain to stop, finding ways to make that person not suffer anymore. That is actually just a cry for help within yourself. That is yourself telling you, hey, we need to stop our own pain. You wanting to stop your friend from whatever they're going through and help them with whatever kind of pain that is yourself crying and saying, hello, I need some kind of help. I really truly have like been looking at everybody around me and all, like, let's say the adults, right? Like my parents, for example. I can come to them with my problems. And a lot of the times my mom tries to find ways to help me. But my dad, for example, he will let me try to figure it out. And okay, that's great parenting. I am an adult. I should find my own things. And for a while I kind of saw that as like, damn, like you don't care. Like you just don't have an empathetic. No, it's more like he's selfish to a healthy point. Okay, I'm actually not dying. My life isn't collapsing on top of me. Things are fine. I just need to figure out what this is, and he can't do that for me. I can only do that for myself, right? So he's created boundaries, and his boundaries are, I'm going to listen to you and I'm going to try to give you some advice, but I'm not going to go any further. And I think that those of us who do go further is to help ourselves. Once I make their pain stop, so should mine. I used to go so hard, like to the ends of the world to try to get my sister to understand certain things that she still to this day does not understand. And, that's allowing her to get to her point and letting her grow. I kind of saw it from that vision, but I was, in hindsight, I was doing that for me to stop what I believed I was going through at that age or at that time period of my life. Because, her at 17 and me at 17 were two completely different people. But wherever she's at, I kind of saw how to get out of there and how to help myself. And it was kind of like healing, sort of healing my inner child, healing, or my inner teenager, just healing that part of me that I never got to at that time. And I used my empathy to be able to get to a point where my pain would stop, where I wouldn't feel sad, where I wouldn't feel abandoned and all of these things. I got to a point where I was able to let go of a lot of these things. And that was living vicariously through my siblings, living vicariously through my friends. I got to a point where those thoughts and those feelings all went away. Those emotions, that energy that I was writing on, like deep down, that was subdued, that was in my subconscious, kind of went away. And now I'm consciously making an effort to not get on the car of whatever people's pain is, whatever it is. I will help as much as I can, but not to a point of my own detriment, not to a point of my own exhaustion, not to a point of my own burnout. I can't be there anymore, and I won't be there. And I've chosen to do that so that I can go further. I remember one time I was talking to my therapist, and I was like kind of annoyed that a friend of mine, I was helping them, and I felt like they were getting much further than me in with what I was helping them with, and I wasn't. And I was kind of like upset, and she kind of helped me realize that, my accomplishments can be seen through others. And while that's great, because, that's what teachers are, their accomplishments are through how many students pass and how many students can go to the next grade. I'm not a teacher. Like we all should be teachers for one another, but I don't know. There was something that was stemming there that it was just like, I was angry. And I was angry, obviously, because I wasn't putting in that much time into myself. I was making these tutorials for this friend, and I was showing all of this stuff to this friend, and I wasn't even getting up to the next level myself. I wasn't pushing myself further to get to where I needed to get to the consistency, to get to the everyone knowing my face and being out there and pushing as far as I can and promoting myself and advertising myself. I wasn't doing that. But for this person, I was showing them exactly how to do all of these things. I was giving advice that I wasn't taking myself. And that hurt. That like crushed me, because I felt like I put so much effort. I put so much time into all these other people, and they're becoming successful and I'm still in the same place. And it wasn't that I was envious. I think I was just more angry. I was very angry that I couldn't get to that point. I couldn't get to live where I want to be, And even now I still get upset because I feel like I could be doing more, and I try to do more. But sometimes there's just things that come in between that I allow myself to excuse why I'm not being as, it's truly an uphill battle that gets us to where we want to go. And that journey is what keeps us on the top of the hill. Understanding and going step by step, very meticulously, very in tune, understanding every step of the way is what keeps you at the top. When we rush things, when we fly past things, is when we have to come back and learn these lessons over and over again to perfect them, so that when we get to the top, we don't fall. But that's why a lot of the times we get to the top and we fall, because we don't learn those lessons in the beginning. And one of those lessons for me were boundaries. I thought that because I was so open and loving and helping everybody else, that I was actually doing everybody a favor. And I was this, this person up here that I cared so much about people. Like, we always look down upon these selfish people, but they have something that we don't themselves. Because for me personally, I'm empathetic to a lot of people. not within hopes of getting anything back, but of knowing that these people will be there for me. And a lot of times these people aren't there for me. I've been there for a lot of people who were not there for me. And I came to the conclusion that that's just who I am. I'm going to try to help people. That's why God puts me in certain positions, or the universe puts me in certain positions for these people to help them. But where are the people for me? Where are those people for me? It's kind of I thought it was more of a push and pull kind of thing. Like, I help you, you help me, this hand washes another, whatever. It's never been shown to me that it is that way. Certain times it is, but certain people it's not. And those certain people are actually successful because they care about themselves and they're able to push forward and get to where they need to be. I mean, obviously with the help of others, but making sure that they're on the number one top priority list, making sure that they are getting to what they need, and then they can help everybody else, which is what it should be. Because if I'm not good, then how can I help you? But a lot of the times, us empathetic people will push and pick up those residual fuels that we have in the back of our minds and in our energy that can help pick us up. There's actually something called, what is that word, where like we siphon another person's energy or something like that. I don't remember what it is. But usually how like certain people who will never clean their rooms all of a sudden gets a friend over and now they're cleaning their rooms is because they're taking that other person's energy. I forgot the word to that, but certain people work that way, but they're making sure that they're getting their stuff done. Me, I wasn't getting any of my stuff done. I mean, I was, but not to the fullest extent as I feel like I could now. I'm trying to reach to have 2 videos a week on my personal YouTube channel. And it's been sort of a battle, but I kind of have my head on straight. I kind of am realizing like you need to do things for yourself. Like this is what you want. This is what you need. This is what you're going to do. It's time to put your best foot forward and get to where you want to go, because nobody's taking you there. There isn't any kind of overnight success that's going to happen. Like, you need to keep pushing, keep doing the things that you actually like, keep doing the things that you love for yourself. And I know that's difficult for parents, for example, because you have your kids and you care about them so much and they're worth more than anything in this world, even your own, like they are your own happiness. But seeing my mom be so creative and seeing my mom do the things that she wants to do is what pushes me a lot, I have my own kind of fuel. I have my own things that fuel me, and I get that they're different than other people, but I get so inspired just seeing somebody care so much about themselves, because I don't. And that's like the saddest thing ever, I feel like wanting the good in everybody else and not yourself is like the epitome of what an empathetic person is, or what, at least before this epiphany, before this knowledge and being educated on this, where I was before, thinking like, we're superior. I can feel your feelings. I know what's going on. I understand. And this need to understand everything kind of just like would push me in crazy directions. Like I'm FBI, KGB, detective in everything. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. I'm going to understand exactly what is happening at all times for other people. And then for myself, I would do the same. And then actually, I kind of stop. I get to a point that I just stop. I'm not pushing my own boundaries. I'm not pushing my own glass ceilings. I mean, I'm not getting the results that I want because I'm not pushing as hard. And sometimes we need a reality check. And I was so grateful that I passed through that video, and that it kind of made me like really think a lot about myself, and like all of these things that I had thought correct, all of these feelings and the way that I was headed and where I was going and everything. It kind of just like, this really awakened every aspect of my life in wanting to help others, right? That's like my life. That's what I want to do. What about myself? Where am I going to get to? How do I get to a point where I'm also successful? What do I believe is to be successful? To understand a point, everybody to a point that they don't. Because what do I even care for? For myself. I care to understand everybody else for myself. so that I can understand myself better. And I like to take these qualities of other people that, make them so successful, make them so important and necessary for the world, and try to understand and get to that point. But actually, also, I saw a post that was saying something about how, like, the oldest children are, if they're successful, then the last child would be successful and stuff like that. And I feel like, okay, I'm not the oldest in my sibling group, but I am like the immediately oldest, if that makes sense. Like, I'm number 2 in 4. And so, like, the last 2 are constantly looking at me like, hello. But I'm not the oldest, and I don't know if me being so understanding of everybody else has helped them. Where is the inspiration for them? I need to be for myself. I need to get to myself. I need to show people that, like, we need to work on ourselves in order to get better. And I need to do that for myself. I need to work for me. Get to a point where I can still care and be compassionate. Basically have healthy boundaries with everyone, for myself, still be compassionate. That's what I consider to be have a healthy boundary. Is to still be compassionate, still feel for others, but not to the point of your own detriment, not to the point of your own burnout. Understanding your limits, your needs, your values, that's what is going to keep us great. Communicating assertively. I might be a very assertive person, but before I was assertive, but not to a point where I would not do things for other people. Like, I'm not talking about people just like friends. I'm talking about people like my family, like people that are in my immediate circle. I could not say no to them. Now, be gone. If I can't do it, and I've been honest with myself. If I have other things that I need to get done, I cannot be there for you right now. I can't go to your party. I can't go here with you. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to go here. I'm going to say no to the things that I need to in order to get my stuff done. Because my success will then also be to help others as well. Whether that's inspiring others, whether that's giving jobs to others, whether that's having somebody be able to see that I made it out, another source of inspiration. I'm basically using a synonym for that. But just saying no and expressing myself without guilt is my number 1 priority for this year. I can express myself without guilt, and I can say no, but I want to get over there. I want to get over that little hump. I want to get to the point where I can just do things for myself that make me happy, or that can push me to where I need to be, to push these glass ceilings. Like, I want to get to the next level of where I need to be. And if you're in that same boat, if you feel like you're also an empath who has been hindering your own growth because of this, I implore you to just leave everybody alone. I actually got to like the worst burnout ever in like, I think 2022, 2023, I was alone, excommunicado from everybody. I exiled myself. I wanted peace from everyone. And the only people that I had around me were my brother, sister, and my mother. My father would come occasionally, and I was mending those broken relationships with those people, letting go of that sibling guilt, feeling like I wasn't there enough for my younger siblings, feeling like I could have done things for my parents, feeling like, abandoned by my dad, and all of these things. I was healing those things because I wasn't with the chaos of the other people who I kind of considered, who I do consider family, but weren't there with me for, in my growing up years, like my mother, my siblings, and my parents. When I talk about my immediate circle, I have friends who are family to me. We don't share blood, but they are family to me. I will do whatever I can for those people, whether that's my boyfriend, my best friend, who's actually my sister. Like, these are important people to me, but their relationships didn't need the kind of deep mending that the one with my father did and the one with my mother did. And honestly, just recently, like, I let go of something that I carried so much shame and guilt over, just because I didn't want her to see me any kind of way, or I didn't want her perception of me to change. But At the end, this is who I am. And in order for me to accept myself, I had to release that. I had to let go of what someone else was going to think about me and just let that out. So I mended that. I let that go. I tried to mend the relationship with my siblings. With my brother, it's always been fine. But there was a lot of guilt there with my brother. I felt like growing up, he is very close to me. We were very close. Obviously I moved out for 6 years and then I moved back in for like a couple months, but those couple of months did do wonders for me. I was able to kind of let that go of like, damn. Obviously, I would see them often, but there goes periods of time where you're not there so often. Like you don't sleep there, wake up there. That things are just happening. Things are just moving and things are going by. And, I wasn't there. So I kind of had this guilt. And every time he would ask me for things, I would just say yes, because you never asked me for anything. So let me just do this, And I kind of had to let that go because if I can't do something, I just can't. And sometimes we need to just figure that out for ourselves. And shout out to our sponsor. In healing the relationship with my siblings, letting that guilt go of, I wanted to be there more often. I wish I could have, and all of this stuff. And realizing like the pain that I've caused these people or whatever actions I did to hurt them helped me really understand what boundaries were. And that's how I learned how to say no. And now I've gotten to a point where I am not going to solve the mysteries of their pain and their things. I'm going to solve my own. I'm going to use my own, let go of my own pain and heal my own stuff that they have nothing to do with by myself. I can still see myself in other people, even having this knowledge, but I'm not necessarily going to use their pain as a way to let go of mine. I'm going to try to do that for myself. I don't know. I feel like journaling has been helping a lot. Even this, talking to you guys and letting you guys know where I am and in trying to help and teach these things, these kind of knowings is where I'm going to basically be at. That's where my frame of mind is at. I'm going to create boundaries around my emotions because that's what boundaries are supposed to be. They're for your emotions. Like this whole thing of me, putting consequences on people. If you do this, well, then I'm not going to talk to you. Like that's just me protecting myself. But it gets deeper in when we think about protecting our own emotions. My emotions and yours might be similar. We might have gone through the same thing, but I'm going to fix my own emotions in my own way. Just like how people say like forgiveness is not for the other person, it's for yourself. When you forgive somebody else is when you let go of that hurt, that pain, that disgust, whatever it is of that person, and you let that go. That's for you to be able to move on. It has nothing to do with that person. That person's going to do whatever they want to do regardless. Forgiving somebody for hurting you is to have compassion, understand what they've done, but not allow that anymore. That's your boundary. And learn how to maneuver this situation for the next time. I'm not going to allow this to happen again because, I've put boundaries. I see where this came from. Okay. And be able to walk forward. I'm not going to just forgive everybody for everything or whatever to them for them. I forgive you for myself so that I'm not hurting and carrying this pain. For me, for example, I'll stop talking to somebody. Like you do something messed up to me. It kind of takes a while for me to like stop talking to you, but I'll stop talking to you. And like you'll never hear from me again. But I've forgiven. I understand where you came from. I let that pain go because it's hindering me. It's holding me down. Thinking like, damn, like this person really did me like this. And what if this other person is going to do me like that too? Because, that's a lot of the times what happens is we see what somebody else did to us. We use what somebody else did to us to basically put that on everybody else and use that kind of behavior and see if someone else acts this way, that means that they're going to do this. And we try to, use these lessons as assumptions for other people when that's like not the reason of these lessons, is to know how to go about it if it does happen. Letting go of the pain that other people have caused me has put me in a place of, I don't want want to call it an abyss or a black hole. Just imagine this white space, this clear space where I don't have a list of everything that everyone has done to me. I'm not holding on to that. I don't see it anymore. Now I have these white walls in this white place to write down my own experiences and live my own life and see my own things and have my own feelings. The happy ones, even the bad ones, even the ones that I put myself in. I have these walls that are mine. And nobody else's name is going on them but my own experiences, my own places, my own things. I'm no longer going to keep the fact that this person called me this, and no, this is all clear. I forgive it all. I need this clean space to be able to move forward. I need a clean wall to be able to walk to the next place. I can't hold on to what everyone did to me. Doesn't do anything for me. If anything, it does something for them, because now they're like, oh, well, look at this person. They're hurt. I did that. They're sad because of me. I put them in that predicament. And like, some people are twisted enough to think that that's like doing something, when in reality, like, it's really not. What you did is show your true colors, and now you lost somebody that was really good to you. And I'm going to keep on growing. Honestly, thank you for showing me who you were, because now I can keep on moving forward and I can get to where I need to go. And I forgive you. It's fine. What you did is a reflection of yourself. When people cheat, when people steal, it's just all of and for themselves. It's all what they are feeling on the inside. I kind of tried to explain that to my brother the other day, because his teacher was saying something to him, and I was just like, he was constantly calling his teacher like by his name or something like that. I don't know. And it was always cool until one time it wasn't. And I was just trying to explain to him that this person is looking for like their sense of authority, like for you to know that they're in charge, which is fine and all, but like, I don't think my brother really got that. Like, but he's going to go through it. He's going to learn himself, you know? And whenever I'm upset with other people, usually is because there's something internally happening with me. Like recently I caught myself being really upset and really down in the dumps about certain things with other people that they weren't doing. It wasn't that that person wasn't doing it. It was that I wasn't doing it for myself. You understand? If I was looking for love from that person, it's because I haven't been giving it to myself. I can't do the certain things that I want to do. I have limits on myself, and I'm using this other person as a scapegoat, as a person of basically like, you're not doing this and all of this stuff, when it's me. I need to do it for myself. And since I have no way to do that, I kind of put the blame on someone else, and that's just not right. I have to figure out a way to get myself out of this predicament that I'm in and get back into doing the things that I love. And I'm really talking about yoga, and I can do yoga at home, so I'm going to start trying to do that. I hope that you have your list of things that you can do that you love, but I know, getting my body active and doing certain tasks like yoga, my hair, cleaning, these are things that make me feel accomplished, make me feel love for myself, knowing that I can do these things, knowing like on Thursdays when I buy myself a sandwich, like that makes me happy. And yeah, I thank you so much for watching today's video. I want to hear what you think about this. Did you know boundaries were supposed to be for your emotions and not just for other people? We're still saying no to burnout and emotional exhaustion. I thank you for bettering yourself today with this episode. I hope to see you in my next one. Please don't forget to like this video. It really, really helps me. Like, more than you guys know. More likes I get on this video is the more that YouTube pushes these videos out, which really helps me and it gets to a lot of people. If I didn't get you mad enough, I hope you subscribe and share. If you have family members that don't understand what empathy or boundary is, I hope that I explained it well enough that you could see your family understanding it from my point of view. And I hope you have a great weekend. Stay orange. I'll see you in the back soon.